Well, hello, my crafty friends, and thank you for joining me. Uh, I've got another, obviously, little tutorial for you, and I think, it is going to be another Lavinia stamps one, and I liked this, so I am going to do it. Now, this is the card, so let me there we go. So that is the card we are going to do. Now, I've got to give a few shout outs because I was browsing through Lavinia Stamps website and I came across their gallery, and they do have step-by-step guides. What I will do is put the link in the comments when I finish this video and upload it. I will put the link in the comments below, and I will put the link directly to this particular card if I can, because one, it will give you all the stamps that the original designer used in her creation, and that is where I got my inspiration from. And the actual original designer of this was a lady called Elaine Langford Pugh, and it's called Bauble Watching, and I just fell in love with it. And I bought some of the stamps. I had quite a few already, bought some of the stamps, and this is my take on her design. So this is what we're going to do, and this I'm going to guide you through step by step on how to replicate this card. So what have we got? We've got trees, we've got a bit of background going on, we've got the house, obviously, we've got the fairy, we've got the trees, the hare and the mouse. And I will show you the stamps that we will be using, which are just here. So we've got the fairy fir tree, we've got the steps, fairy path. Sorry, let me do that again. So we have got the fairy fir tree, we have got the fairy path, which is that one. We have got Bayleaf Cottage, which is that one. It's quite a big stamp, that one. We got the woodland mice, which is that one, 3 little mice on it. We've got the woodland hares, so we've got those. I may not use those. We have got the Christmas charms. You've got 3 of those, which we'll be using. We have got the small fairy fir tree, which is that one there. And we have got a collection of small pine trees, which is those 3, which we'll be using. We have got the fairy foragers, which you have got 4 of those in there, which is quite useful, and the masks, we'll be using those. So as I say, so that's the stamps, all Lavinia stamps, and again, this is a take on a card done by Elaine Langford Pugh on her card that she did for Lavinia Stamps on their website, and I will put the link in the bottom in the comments when I've finished and uploaded, so you can go directly to the website, and they've got a shopping list of the stamps, so that would probably be helpful as well if you want to replicate this particular card. Okay, so what I've done a little bit of preparation. I have got myself a 7.5 by 7.5 a piece of stamping card, 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. I'm just going to check these actually. I think I did it 7.5, 7.5. Almost sure I did. Yes, I did 7.5, 7.5, and that is 19 by 19 if you prefer in centimeters, but in inches it's 7.5 by 7.5. So that would be our card blank. We have got a 7 3/4 by 7 3/4 silver mirror card, and that in English, that in modern is 19.5 by 19.5. So that's your matte and layering. Also, if you want to die cut some stuff out of the middle of this, do so before you matte and layer it, and then you've got, you know, a little bit extra from your silver mirror card. So that's another little tip for you. And we've got our blank card an envelope which we're going to mount all our lovely bit of artwork onto once we get it all done. Okay, so that's that. So, okay, let's get our card blank. This is what we're going to be working on. We're going to get the steps and the cottage, and we're also going to be using our stamping platform. Now, these are quite big stamps. As you can see, I've got a bit of double-sided, which I've rolled up into a ball. And what I'm going to show you is, because these are quite big stamps, we need to place them on our piece of card where we would like them to go, because on my original one that I did 7 by 7, which I did find a bit small, so that's why I've increased it this time on this one to 7.5 by 7.5. So I'm going to move that up a bit because I can see that it's still going to be a little bit. So yeah, so basically place your stamps where you think you would want them to go, and that way if you make a mistake when you come to it, you haven't really messed up any card bits, pieces of card. So again, it's something that I've done, so I can get away with that. I'm not too worried about a little bit of the path disappearing off the edge. That's absolutely fine, as long as I've got the main bulk of the house and I can play around with the steps. I'll just move that up a bit. You can see what I'm doing. There we go. So basically, I've got my house, and this, with the steps, it's going to be too big for the card. So this is why it's a good idea to actually position stamps before you actually do any stamping, so that you've got a rough idea of where you want to put things. So I'm just going to, yeah, that I can work with that. I'm not too bothered about the bottom part of this disappearing off. I can live with that. So let's put this back on the carrier sheet, and then let's keep that still, get rid of that. Any that was roughly there. Cool. Right, okay, let's get some inking done. And I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black, which is a dye-based ink pad, because I'm going to be colouring with alcohol markers. So that's what I will be doing my colouring with, and I won't be doing all the colouring. I'll just do a little bit. Well, see how we get on. So let's bring that over and get our house into position. Don't worry about that. That won't go down onto your... And I'm just making sure that I have got the clear. And as you can see, that has stamped out absolutely wonderful. Right, so I'm just going to grab myself a piece of baby white. And you know me all by now, clean your stamps. Keep your stamps clean. So just give that a quick wipe. It's dye based, so it's water based, so it won't just give it a quick damp down with a clean tissue. And that is good for me to go next time. So I'm just going to bring this out a little bit better. So put that down back onto our carrier sheet. Put that back in the pocket later on. And then we can get a piece of scrap paper and slide that underneath like that. Doesn't matter it's been moved, don't worry about that, because I just wanted a bit, I didn't want to stamp onto the actual platform. So there we go, we got our stamp, our little fairy, and just line it up and tilt it a little bit, and then there we go. I'm happy with that. So that is all lined up wonderfully. So we can ink that up now. Get our ink pad. Gentle tapping all over. And then we can bring this back over and down we go. And we now have got a house with a little pathway. There we go. And then when you lift it off, you've got the illusion that it's all one stamp. So you've got a continuation, you've got a little, and it doesn't matter, it's gone off the edge, don't worry about that, that's absolutely fine. And we've got our main house. Put that to one side, get rid of that, we don't need that. Remember to put your back on and clean your stamp and your board if you've got any ink on your put that over there because we finished with that. And then we can put this back onto our carrier sheet because it's now clean and we know that is good to go the next time. Right, so okay, we can put that away because we have finished with that. Bring our piece of artwork back in, and then we're gonna do some trees. Now my thing is I started with the small trees, medium trees, and then I went in with the bigger tree at the end, at last. So I started with the small, medium, and then the large, did a few of those. And I'm not going to go too mad on this one. I'm not going to go too mad on this one. I'm just going to give you an idea. But then you can do as many or as little as you want. And what we're also going to do is second and third. Oh, that's a bit too. Yeah, that would do. Yes, so what we're going to do is second and third generation stamping. So what we do, ink up our, and we just, down we go, and just keep them. Now it doesn't look like much, but already you've added depth to your picture. I'm just gonna do some down there, and if you want to, you can mask off a bit of the house and have like some going, and I think that's enough for me at the moment. I'm not going to go too mad. Again, if you want to, you can add a lot more of the stamps to your piece of artwork if you so desire. So I'm just going to get the medium stamp, put that away so I don't get them confused. Put that in there, and we're just going to do a few of these ones. Which is like the medium tree. So I'm going to need a slightly bigger block. Yes. Use this one. We'll use this one. It's a bit excessive, but it will do. And not only that, you've got a straight line on these, so you can line it up a bit better. So again, ink up your stamp, and then we are going to avoid touching the stamp with your fingers. Not a good idea. So let's ink that up again. And down it goes without touching or moving. And again, you can do second generation stamping and possibly a third one. And as you can see, we're gradually building up our forest. So let me just point out as well on this one, doesn't matter if your trees are slightly overlapping, that's absolutely fine, don't worry. And then we can do, I'm avoiding stamping over the house, so I'm gonna put one there, and then let's wipe that off, and then let's put go. And I think that would do for that. And then I'm just going to go into and get the largest one. And then we can put this one back, put it back on its carrier sheet, pop it back into its packet. And then we've just got the large stamp. This is the biggest one. So we can put that down like that. And again, I'm only going to do a couple of these. I'm not going to go mad. So ink up your let's, and I'm going to get a bit of copy paper actually, because I'm going to go off the line here, off the page. So let's no, I think I'm going to leave it at that. So then we get our animals, and I think on this one I'm just going to stick with the mice. So put that one back. go. And put that back onto its. Now, what I will do is get and put the fairy in at the top. I'm just going to do the animals, so we need the mice. We get those out. We don't need the big one anymore, so we can get rid of that. And we can get our little fairy, and we get our small block. And once you ink these up, you'll be able to see better the stamps, so they'll make it better and easier for positioning. So we can put her near the top. There we go. There she is. So let's clean this one. Let's clean her off. And then put her back onto the carrier sheet. And then we can put her back in the packet where she belongs. And then we're just going to add a few of the mice. I'm not going to go too mad with the mice. I'm just going to put a couple of them on. And again, if you want to put the let's clean that little bit at the bottom. And he will go there. And then we'll give him a clean. And then put this one down. Probably have him the other side. He's going to be running off, telling his friends. Possibly. Let's put him down in the corner. There we go. And I think I'm going to leave it like that. So. Let's clean that one off, and then all we do now after this is add in our baubles hanging from the tree, from the house, that our little fairy has worked so hard putting on. Decorating her house for Christmas. Don't know if fairies believe in Christmas, but I'm sure they do. Everybody does. Everybody believes in Christmas and enjoys Christmas. So that's our mouse away. Right, so now we get the little baubles, Christmas charms they're actually called. So we've got our little Christmas charms. And we just stamp with these. And there's a little trick to this, because we don't want the whole length of the charm. So what we do is just ink up the bottom part of the charm. So as you can see, if I hold this up, I've only inked the bottom part of the stamp, and that we can place again. if I show this, point this out to you, if I hold that up, you can see it's hanging from what will eventually become a bit of tinsel, because we will be glittering that swirly bit around the house. So so it looks so she's just hanging baubles from her house. So that's the illusion we want to give. So I'm just going to ink this up again, and then I'm going to move it up to the next. So as you can see now, if I hold this up, we've got it hanging from. So I think that's enough of that one. We can move on to another one and get one of those put in. So let's go for the star, and then add, again, same thing, only inking up the bottom part of the stamp. So I'm just going to press that down there, and if I hold that up again, I have just made it look as though it's dangled from what will be the tinsel. So what we'll do now is the next one up, and we will, now if you're not sure and you think you've got too much ink, just get a bit of copy paper. If you're not sure, just get a bit of copy paper and cover up the bit that you don't want to ink. And I've got a little bit of ink on there, so I'm just going to move that. So hopefully, I don't mind that, that is absolutely fine. So again, what I've done, I've inked it, but even though it's dangling down on this one, it doesn't matter, but it's still attached. So I'm just going to go in with the third and final one, hopefully, and then put that one back in the right position. And we've got this one, which is a circular one, which is quite nice. So again, I've just inked up a little bit going up, so I don't want, yes, and if I do another one, again, if you think you've gone too far, just rub it off, and we can go up there like that. So there is our house decorated with the baubles, hanging from what will be the tinsel, and that is basically all the stamping. So let's clean all this, and then we're going to put in some hills and details so that our house is not so. Put these away, then we'll do some colouring, and then we'll just do some little bits of highlights. So okay, let's put those away. We've got that, put all that, that, and we've got that. And what we need now is a piece of copy paper with some hills on, like that. Ta-da! So I've done this before. Right, so I want my mat, And what I'm going to do as well is put in my moon mask. So, and I will explain this as well now. We want the medium like that. And there's a trick to this. If you don't want, if you're a bit, if you are worried about the actual thing moving, just get yourself a little bit of tape, like masking tape or something very low tack, and just roll it into a tube or sausage. Attach that to the back of your mask, and then put that wherever you want it to go. So I'm having it like that. There you go. So it's covering the fairy and that, and the top of part of the house. So that's where the moon is going. And then for your hills, a bit of distressing. So I'm going to go for tumble glass to start with, although that might be a bit late. I mean, a bit light. So I'm going to go straight in with broken china. And then take off the excess and then just dab it along. And then just lift up your, yeah, there we go. We're getting a bit of a hill going on here. Just dab it all the way along. You can see. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to tumble glass, and I'm just going to go a bit around the moon, where my moon is. There we go. So that should be okay. Cool. We have got hills coming. So again, just be very careful the amount of ink you put down, because obviously if you go too dark you can't take it away. So there's my hills. I've got a bit of the sky going on now, which I'm quite, and if you want to vary it, just turn it over and we can have another hill of snow going here. And then we can have another hill going over this way. Let's join it up with that one a little bit. So we've got a bit of continuation going on. And just be careful when you come up to the house. Obviously you don't want a blue house, because we will be colouring that slightly different and highlighting it. So, and then we can move down and put some hills down here. Again, just be wary of the house. You can obviously mask that off if you want to, but I haven't bothered. And then we can have another, just a slight one going here, and I think I will make that and while I'm here, I'm just going to add a few bits. Cool, right, so that's what we have got at the moment. So what I'm going to do is move this off, and then remembering how I did this, I think that's about it, although it doesn't matter as long as it matches up either side, which I think basically what I've done. Just be careful, you don't want again get any blue ink on the pad on the house, so just be, and we're just going to continue our snowy hillside on across the moon. Remember, we've masked it off, so and there we have the mountains. There we have our hills. Right, so what I'm going to do now, while I've got the ink in my hand and the door, is to finish off the rest of the sky. So in you go. And it doesn't matter how this goes down, because just be careful of the moon in that. So just finish all, put the sky in. A bit. And what I'm going to do now is leave that. So I've got my sky in. That is perfectly okay. I'm quite pleased with that. So we've got a house, we've got a path, we've got our trees in, we've got a fairy putting the light on the top of the house, we've attached baubles hanging from what will eventually be tinsel going around the house, we've put our trees in, we've put a little mice in, we've put our fairy paths in, and we've obviously done the house. So okay, that is basically all the stamping and inking done. So what we're going to do now is a little bit of colouring. So I'm going to use alcohol markers. Because we have used a dye-based ink pad, we can dive in with our alcohol markers, and I'm going to use some, and I'll tell you what, I lied, I am going to do a little bit more stamping, because I'm going to put some of these in, just to give it a bit more at the bottom. So, and it's going to be these like cat whiskers. So sorry, I lied. I just felt it just needed something on the path. So I'm just going to put these actually, let's get a scrap piece of paper. Let's do this properly. I'm just going to I want it so it's coming out of the there we go. I'm going to leave it at that because otherwise I'm going to spoil it. So I'm going to leave it at that. So clean that. So what we're going to do now is colour the house in and the brickwork. So, and I'm not going to colour all of it. I'm just going to do a bit of it to show you how I did it, because there's my one. So I'm going to show you how I got to that. So what I've got here is some Spectrum Noir tri-blend colour markers, and these have got 3 colours which I find very useful for your shading and everything. So we've got light, medium, dark. So I'm going to start with the light and just go down the house, the roof of the house, because I'm assuming it is made of straw. So it'd be like a thatched roof. And if you find it easier, turn your card or piece of artwork around and do it the other way. And just be careful of the baubles, because we will be colouring them a different colour so they stand out a bit better. And then just be careful of the ribbon, or a little bit of tinsel that she's wrapping around the house, our home, in celebration of Christmas. So yeah, even fairies enjoy Christmas. So that's my light colour. So that's that done. And just got the bottom one here. As you can see, I've missed out colouring through the baubles because we're going to deal with them separately and put a different colour on them so they stand out more. And we'll also glaze them as well. But we'll do that right at the last because it will need a drying period. So again, I will show you how I did that. And I'm not going to speed this up or anything. I mean, you can fast forward it on YouTube. There we go. So that's our house with the first layer on. So put that. Now I'm going to go in for the mid colour. So I'm just going to go this very gently down the sides. And where this designer has, which I'm presuming is Tracy from Lavinia Stamps, where they've put the shading, that's where we're going to follow. And again down here at the bottom. So very gently, and I'm just using short strokes. Then we go. And down the side. Let's do a bit down there. And then up from the bottom. that. And then around the side, and then we've got a little bit on the under the ribbon here, so we can fill that in. And then once we've done that, we'll go back to the light colour and we'll just blend that in a little bit. So there we go. So that's my first two colours on. So I'm going to go, as I say, back to the light colour and just blend this in a little bit. So basically I'm just trying to get rid of those harsh lines, but leaving there we go. That's blended nice and beautifully. So there we go. That's the beginning of our house. So that's the two layers done. So we now go in with the dark colour. Again, be very careful with this because it is dark. You just want to highlights now, like underneath. I'm barely putting any down. Cool. Right, let's do a little bit and just a little touch underneath there, and then we go back to the light one again and just blend this all in again. Just blend that in. There you go. There's one cottage for you. Just do a little bit up here. Right, I'm going to leave it at that, and then again you would do exactly the same with the grey, which I've got here for these stones at the bottom. So quickly do those. Again, you can fast forward all this on the and I'm using what are these? Ice grey blend. So again, I'm going to go with the light right around the house and do all the stones. Do this very quickly. And then more white bits. And then again, go into the mid colour. Underneath around the edges of the rock where you've got this shading, and some on the path. Again, around the edge of the rock where you've got this shading. And then we go back in with the light. And blend that all in. And then the dark. Now be very careful with the dark because it is dark. I'm just going to be very careful with this. Yes. And I think I'm going to leave it at that because you can do the rest of yours. So basically we've now got to that stage. Let me just pick up my alcohol, my tri-blends that have just fallen out. Cool. Right. So the next thing is we'll get a different colour. Let me just grab some. Let's get a red, green, and let's get a bright yellow. So I've just got some markers here, and I'm just going to colour let's do that one in as it's further up. We can do that. Let's do a red one. Let's do that one in a green. It's probably a bit too dark, but still see the star. Cool, right, so, and I'm just going to actually just do this door before I forget. And then the medium. And it's very therapeutic, very relaxing doing this colouring. So back to the light and just blend these two in. And then I'm just going to, sorry, that was the light again. So, and then with the dark, just a bit above the door, bit below. And then we just blend that in as well. Cool, that's our house coloured. So, okay. It's just the finer details now. So what we're going to do is put in some... No, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to mat and layer it now. So double-sided tape. I'll tell you for why. Because once we put the glossy accents and stuff down and the glitter glue, we have got to leave it to dry. So that's why I'm going to matte and layer it now, and then we can just leave it then to dry. So let's get this down. So as I say, this card was inspired, as I said at the beginning, by Elaine Langford Pugh, who I assume is a design team member for Lavinia Stamps. And it was a card on one of their galleries, in their gallery, which has got a step-to-step guide, which I will put a link to for you, so you can go and visit yourself. And by the way, I'd just like to say I don't get anything for doing this. It's just that I like that particular design. I like the stamps. So, and I thought, yeah, let's do a video of it. So hence why I'm doing this, because I like it, and it's an unusual and different Christmas card. So I'm just looking for my proper scissors, which I don't know what I've done with. Let me get these. Right, okay, so let's matte and layer this. Let's get this matte and layered, and then we can add the bits and pieces just to finish our card off, and then that will be it. So let's get rid of that, get this back in. Cool. Right, okay, so be very careful how you do this. Make sure it's perfectly lined up, which is why I take off the tabs, so you've got still a bit of maneuverability. Don't worry about this, that's where the alcohol ink has come through. You can, if you want, just put some copy paper underneath as you're colouring, but other than that, you're not going to see it. So square this up as best as you can. Down it goes. And then we will matte and layer this onto our card blank, and that will more or less be the card done, apart from doing so there we go. And again, you can have it tent fold, side fold. Let's go tent fold. down onto your card front, square it off, make sure it's equal all the way around, pull the tabs. There we go. So there's our card. Now the last thing we need to do is I'm going to use some the sparkle pens from Crafter's Companion, and I'm just going to some on her wings, snow, so where I've put the hills in, it's just highlighting them a little bit, and it dries fairly quickly, so it's not too bad. So, and it gives a little bit of glistening to the snow, which is what we like. So if I hold that up now, you can see I've got hopefully a bit of glistening going on in the snow. So that's the snow. Let's just finish off the house. So we have got, now I'm going to point something out to you. I was rummaging around in, well, not rummaging, I was looking in Poundland, and they had these things which were holding telescopic phone holders, you know, from when the craze was for doing selfies. So they had selfie sticks holders, that's the word I was looking for. And I asked if I could have one, and that's how I store my glitter inks, you know, my stickles. So they're always upside down. I don't have to wait ages to shake it down and get them out and all the rest of it, because they're already there. So I'm going to go for the red. So basically, that's all it is. And it's already got pre-made holes in for you. So again, if you've got like small, medium, you know, what am I trying to say? Pots of other, small bottles of other stuff, even your glues, you can store them in these, and you don't have to spend ages shaking them down. Anyway, so back to this. I am now putting red glitter glue over my ribbon, so she's got some tinsel going on around her home. And it doesn't matter if you've gone in, when you were colouring, if you've gone into the borders, you know, into this bit, because the glue will, the glitter glue will cover it up for you. So don't worry about it, it will be covered up. So we have now beginning to give her a nice Christmas ribbon tinsel around her house. And we've got two little mice watching, probably supervising. And then I'm going to go out, once I've done this, start uploading it, because that will take a while. And then we'll probably go out somewhere, maybe out onto Dartmoor. We don't live very far from there. Oh, that's the other thing you can do as well on the stones on the path on these, is a little bit of glistening on the path. Not much, just a little bit. Now the last thing is we need an accent. Now this is it's like an accent glaze. Tim Holtz does one, and there's Yeah, glossy accents again. So if you've got a little small pot of that, then you can use that. There's several different, there's crackle accents, there's a Papercraft Society one, which I got from one of their things. But anyway, so this basically will highlight and give don't think that's working, even though I've kept it upside down. Oh well. Let's try this one. Right, okay. And you don't need a lot, because what you want to do, what you want to avoid doing, is letting it spread out too much beyond. So just squeeze a little bit out and then just spread it around with a nozzle. So that's basically how much I've just, I don't know if you can see that, just a little spot, and then just spread it around with the nib of your, and that is all there is to do with that, and that is basically done. So I'm going to put these back, and that is basically the card done. And put those back, and put that back. So there we go. There is one fairy card, and you can see the glossy accents. Now that all needs to just sit there and dry. That's why I put the glossy accents on last, because that's going to take the longest to dry, and also the glitter glue going around the house. So that's going to take time to dry. So I would just go away now and leave it for a good 24 hours, or maybe just 12 hours or so. But at least, you know, just give it time to dry. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have, please like and subscribe to my channel. And again, thank you to Lavinia Stamps for allowing me to do this, and also to Elaine Langford Pugh, who actually designed this, who I've based this design on, and she was the original designer, so thank you to her. And I will put the link into the original post in the comments for you to go and peruse and possibly buy the stamps if you like this. And I will see you again soon. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share this post across your other medium and platforms. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.